Fresh from winning the Dundee derby on Wednesday and moving off the foot of the table. St Johnstone missing out on their match with Celtic that night due to the fog. Match commentator Archie McPherson.
What if I say of these United supporters, they're hardy souls? It's not just because they're risking hypothermia on a day that could only please an Arctic seal, but also in terms of having sat through some very bad times recently, remaining loyal and being given more than a strong hint in 3 wins out of 3 games that United might be on the crest of a positive revival. Not surprisingly, on the back of the recent success, no change in the side, which beat Dundee. So in that sense, he'll have McCunney, Loughlin, DeVos and Buchan at the back. Griffin in front of them, Easton and Davidson wide out of that. Charlie Miller just behind Hamilton and Lilly. And this is a 17-year-old Alex Smith has been raving about. Jamie McCunney, who hails from Blantyre and has been playing with, it is said, amazing maturity. Well, St Johnstone have beaten United twice already this season, but the games have been relatively close, and this is the side that Sandy Clark would have played against Celtic. Frail, Dodds, Wirren, Bullen at the back, Silla, Kane, Dasovic and McBride, and Parker Connolly up front. And this is certainly not the kind of day that will remind Mohamed Silla of his equatorial home. But United know about his style and his ability to score, as he showed against Rangers. Referee today, Dougie MacDonald. Well, you know, we talk about the modern footballer being rather pampered. I would stop short of suggesting a society for the prevention of cruelty to professional players, but on the other hand, if you see this today, I mean, it's coming straight off the North Sea. It's a mix of snow, sleet, rain. The pitch is heavy, so I do have a certain amount of sympathy for them today. And the ex-United player Alan Main in goal there, getting derisive response from the United supporters. Nice curving ball there. Weir got into it, and he set himself free and just passed. Well, that's what a midfield player like Charlie Miller has to do, give good support, which he gave there, and that just slanted away. That was the kind of opportunism that attracted so many clubs to Charlie Miller in the first place. Lilly can't get hold of it. There's a chase now, that's the man they have to walk. Keegan Parker, he's tremendous pace, can he cut it back? He can, that's a great save by Gallagher. Ball still in the danger area, and that's a corner kick. Well, you saw 2 fun young players there. There's the teenager Keegan Parker with that tremendous run, then the shot in there, and 21-year-old under 21 international Paul Gallagher right down on it. Young Scotland in action there. Out of Coburn, that's a poor corner kick though. Ooh, that's a great save again. Well, that's Bullen at his best. That only wasn't just a venomous shot, but look at the curve in it as well. And that young goalkeeper quite superb. There's a nice little run through there. Free kick. Charlie Miller picking up in midfield again. He's already threatened this team. These surging runs, which I'm sure, looking away back to the beginning of his career, made him so attractive at Ibrox. Griffin to take it. Well, that's a good save in Main. Couldn't hit it up properly, and he just stroked it away. 2 superb saves in this game so far, and that's put out. Well, the challenge was on to 2 sets of players to make something of a match of this for patrons who are shivering in the stands. And there's been a great opening 12 minutes. Captain play. Good determination. Miller making the run again, and Hamilton should have spread it out towards him. Well, Miller established that move by making the tackle, winning the ball, and then running for the return pass, which never came. Needs to be laid off, and it is beautifully. Great shot again by Miller. Second time in a game he's come forward with support like that. I think he might have been impeded to start off with. The referee allowing him to go forward and make that shot. Parker, look at the pace of the lad going through between the two defenders. There's Silla! No! Great save by Gallagher again. He did get his hand to it. Well, you could see that that ball played right across, Parker going in, and then you could see the real opportunism there of Silla. He didn't hesitate, he went for the line, and the goalkeeper instinctively got a hand out. And that's good goalkeeping under any circumstances. Silla. Now Kane. Connolly taking that from McBride again. Kane. Silla. That's a beautiful ball inside. Well, McBride, I thought just a little bit casually. There wasn't any great viciousness in the shot. He might just have lost his balance before he struck the ball. Well, it shows you how difficult it is for everybody out there. Well, all credit to Maurice Malthus for that broad smile on his face. That was good play, but the final ball wasn't good enough. Well, Lilly couldn't get hold of it properly. Put it down very well, but you could see the defenders were advancing on him so quickly. Hamilton turns, there's a lovely ball through, there's Miller again! And it's just taken by Alan Main. And no doubt about it that Charlie Miller has realised his role coming in from midfield several times in the game. You could see the spray he set up, making it perfectly obvious how difficult it is out there. Dodds, shouting at Dodds to get rid of the ball. Want to hold it in that danger area, which is becoming like a quagmire. Here's a bit of space, Davidson. Weird tries to get around him, fails for a penalty, and it's given. Now look at the run. Now the conditions are appalling, but Weir did go in from the back. That is always dangerous. And the man stepping forward, the danger man so far, Charlie Miller, and he makes it look so easy. United are in front. And we're only about a couple of minutes away from the half-time whistle. Well, certainly Charlie Miller deserves it. He's penetrated this defence several times, and he wrong-foots Alan Main. And it's a delight to see this very talented player back in Scottish football and playing with such aplomb. Making absolutely sure about that one. And the half-time whistle goes, United leading by 1-0, and I pay handsome tribute to both sets of players. The fear was, when we came here looking at the conditions, that they would get the better of the players. They haven't. They've risen to the occasion marvellously. A splendid open game, and I must say, Paul Gallagher keeping Dundee United in this match. He really was put under the cosh from the word go. He's been saving by hand and by foot. Extraordinary performance by the 21-year-old, And at the other end, the danger man, certainly Charlie Miller. Sometimes his runs forward weren't picked up, other times they were. And you can see him coming in there. There was a threat. And of course the goal came from that run by Derek Lilly, taking it, or attempting to, on the outside, brought down, and the penalty appropriately taken by, I think, United's outstanding player so far, Miller, slotting it in very calmly indeed. The half-time score, Dundee United 1, St Johnstone 0. At the start of the second half, I'm reminded of these strong advocates of summer football. If you used this picture here, I think you would convince any jury that was going to sit on the matter that you had a very strong case indeed. Meanwhile, back again to the credit I've paid to these players. They really have been outstanding, and this game is still very much wide open because St Johnstone played some excellent football, and Parker and Connolly are a constant threat up there. So I certainly hope they keep the pace and the excitement going that they showed in the first 45. Morris Malpa's delighted not only in the overall performance of his team and their attitude, but how sharp Charlie Miller has been. Sandy Clark looking frustrated. His team could have scored at least 3 goals, thwarted by the goalkeeper. Silla fighting back on that, and I think, no. Silla lost his head there, lifted his hands. I think there was no doubt he felt he was provoked. Here's the tackle there. Well, they both went in heavily, and there's no doubt a hand was raised. Charlie Miller involved with Silla. The yellow card. So the upshot, a free kick. Swerve and curl in that ball. Lilly sends it out. Here's Charlie Miller breaking. Still Miller trying to go through on his own, run out of support. It is very tough. And the passes aren't getting through. The turf is taking its toll now, and that, I think, will certainly be a booking. Well, Paul Kane is an experienced player, and he also can mix it when he wants to. That was just slightly late. Well, perhaps that's a benevolent way of putting it. Well, I think wee Josie's nose is frozen. And there's a little header in there. It's certainly not sweat that's pouring down Alex's face there. Referee, I think, waiting for substitutions. Nathan Lowndes, who can himself be a very prolific goal scorer, coming on. The very first time I saw Lowndes was at Kilmarnock when he scored a glorious goal coming off the bench a couple of seasons ago. Lays it forward, and lays it forward very well indeed. Here's Lowndes. Now McBride. Lowndes is making the run. That's a good run by Lowndes. The goalkeeper committed himself. It's there. Glorious goal. Well, he did exactly as I saw him against Kilmarnock. Almost the same kind of goal. Beautiful finish under terrible conditions. And it all stemmed from the fact that Gallagher was caught in no man's land. He didn't know how far he should come out, and eventually he simply couldn't get to it. Having come on so cold, so new, without any chance to warm up properly, that is a glorious finish. Well, he's got his just reward. I think his team deserved to be back on equal terms. They fought very hard for it. And that was what he might describe as an inspiring substitution. snow continuing to swirl down here. The lines are still perfectly visible though. And St John's will get the corner. Now this should suit this man Boland. He has this vicious driving wind and snow into the goal mouth. He'll swill it in that way. McBride. Little jink through. He's onside. Boland had to use his right foot. That just passed. Silla must have been just centimetres away from putting his head plonk right behind the ball. Lowndes, good touch. Silla should pick it up. He tried for the goalkeeper, and there was a deflection which almost deceived Gallagher. Well, I didn't expect that, but that's what deflections are, and it skids here. There's a touch. Now can United pick themselves up? There's Easton. That's a very good run forward by Lilly. He's going to try and chip the goalkeeper. Well, he did exactly the right thing, and once again that through pass meticulously placed in his path. You can see the way he tried to dig under the ball with Alamein having come out of off his line. Lowndes. There's a little run forward to Silla, and again little touch of the ball. Silla still has it. Tries to lay it back, appeals, and he was pulled down. It's a penalty. Silla worked very hard for that, and eventually there was a pull. You can see him going in here. The goalkeeper deceived by the pace of the ball in that treacly-like surface. Well, they were both struggling for it. When you see it from that angle, they were both at it. Silla leaning back, and the defender had to go in for the ball. Yes, I think that puts a different perspective on it. But on the other hand, the referee in that situation, I think, is more likely to give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker. Keegan Parker missed his last penalty, and he misses that one as well. Well, the youngster. That's a great save, by the way, by this outstanding goalkeeper, but the youngster really ought to have put that away. Now, they say he lost his confidence after having missed the penalty in his last game. Yes, you know, looking at that penalty again, I think Alex Smith there, incensed by the decision. I must say, I think I can see his point of view, because both players were trying to get at the ball. The substitution as O'Neill is about to come on now. Michael O'Neill. It's Parker who's coming off. Actually, I think his running today has been excellent, but he must be disappointed now, having missed that penalty. And oh, he's annoyed. He really is annoyed. Good turning there. Strong run forward here. That looked like a body check. It'll be a free kick. I don't think there's any doubt about it. Eight minutes left in this game. Slight hesitation by Muller. That will be the shot. That's a great save. There's been superb goalkeeping in this match. Alan Main. Appeals for a penalty there, but the referee thinks that might have been the conditions as Darren Dodds went in. So thick with mud down there now. Charlie Muller going in. Great run by Muller. Can he do it? No! Oh, that would have capped a superlative performance by him, and he's frustrated. A typical driving Charlie Muller run, and again he's thwarted at the end. Frail coming in. hasn't been much in the game in the second half. Played out now. United only have one player forward, but there we are. The final whistle has gone, and I simply repeat what I said at the end of the first half. This has been a superb effort by these players. They made us a highly entertaining game. There's the man of the match, by the way. Saw a very brief glimpse of him there. Paul Gallagher, who was utterly superb. His penalty save, of course, capping a marvellous afternoon for the 21-year-old Scotland international. And that first goal, of course, the run that brought the Charlie Miller penalty, cutely taken by Miller, who was quite outstanding in the game. And then Nathan Lowndes coming on as a substitute, virtually his first touch of the ball, that brilliant equaliser. Then the missed penalty, Keegan Parker, second time in a row he's done that. But at the end of the day, in miserable conditions, has been a marvellously warming game. Final score, Dundee United 1, St Johnstone 1.
I thought it was a tremendous game, considering the conditions. The conditions were treacherous and were very cold as well. At half-time, the players were struggling a little bit to get any kind of heat back in their body again, so it was difficult to play, but the players put on a great show, and I think it was a great credit to all the players that were on the field today.
I think we should have won the game maybe, but you know, United have had a couple of chances, so really it's been a hard-fought game as it usually is, and you know, a point's good enough.
Well, I think they tried to concentrate and playing the game properly. They forced some great saves from the two goalkeepers, and there were thrills galore, and I just felt that it was a great game, and it's just unfortunate that we didn't win as far as we're concerned, but we're just to keep plugging away. I mean, that's another game where we haven't lost in this year, so we've got to keep that run going.
From your own point of view, you were basically just on the park and scored the goal.
Yeah, it was a good introduction, you know. Gaffer gave me about half an hour, and it was good to get a good first touch and a good goal.
Did you see that one coming? Did you have that planned?
No, well, in the dreams it's planned, but not in the actual reality. But that was nice, yeah.
And saving the penalty, then, that's obviously very pleasing from a goalkeeping perspective.
Very pleasing. I watched him on the telly taking the penalties, and I tried to remember where it was he put it. I just took a guess, and that was it.
This is a young goalkeeper, and he made some great saves in the first half, and he made a particularly good save for the penalty kick. But he's a very promising young goalkeeper, and he's got a great future ahead of him.
Sure he has. I think you'll agree we won a watch with that game. Superb game of football Sunday, and a nice warm sunny afternoon as well.
Well, it was cool, Jim, to say the least. You know, the players, you know, they did exceptionally well to get through the conditions, because I tell you, it was cold standing, you know, in the touchline. But marvellous game, as Alex Smith said there, 22 players, 24, 25 players involved in the match. Every one of them gave it their best shot, and it was marvellous entertainment.
Alex was saying that his players were struggling to get heat into their bodies at half-time. What were they like at full-time?
Well, I don't think they get any worse by that time. You know, it was, the conditions certainly deteriorated. You know, but just partially football. They keep saying about summer football is better, but that's an old-fashioned British game, and I thought it was marvellous entertainment, and the conditions certainly added to the thrills of the match. You
thought you had the better of the second half and maybe could have won the game. Keegan Parker had a penalty attempt as well.
I thought we had the better of the whole match, to be honest with you, Jim. I thought that there was lots of chances in the game. I thought both goalkeepers played exceptionally well. Young Paul Gallagher's following in his father's footsteps. Jim was a marvellous goalkeeper, and he's played exceptionally well. And I think Keegan, it's rather a penalty saved than a penalty missed, but Keegan will learn from that. You know, he maybe shouldn't have taken it yesterday, but it's dead easy in hindsight. But I'll look at the fact that we didn't win the game because maybe Jim Weir gave away, you know, quite a bad penalty from our point of view. But you've got to be there to miss them, and you know, I'm sure Keegan will win games for us in the future.
You mentioned the goalkeepers. Let's have a look at Paul Gallagher first. As Alex said, very promising career ahead of him, and kept you out on countless occasions yesterday.
Yeah, you know, he played exceptionally well. He's been on the scene now for, you know, the past couple of years. He's had 1 or 2 games in the first team, but I think Alex showing great faith in him after their great win midweek. But you know, he's saving them from all angles there, and you know, that's why I'm saying I'm disappointed we didn't win the game. But I think Paul Gallagher certainly earned a point for United yesterday.
That chance in particular, I mean, Silla's done everything right there, hasn't he?
It's a great save, you know, it's a good tackle from Momo, you know, get back on his feet quickly, and I think Paul's going another way and manages to get fingertips to it, and that's a sign of a very good goalkeeper.
And another good save there.
Yeah, I think JP was a bit disappointed and maybe didn't go across the goalkeeper to the far end, but again he was on his toes and did well.
Now, do you fault Keegan Parker there?
No, you always fault you know, you should say he should never miss a penalty, but I think he's hit it very well, he's hit the target with it, but Paul Gallagher, it's maybe a good height for him, but he's made a great save, and you know, that's sign of a top class potential goalkeeper.
Alan Main had a fantastic game as well. We've got to credit him, and let's see a couple of his saves as well.
Yeah, Alan does exceptionally well for us. He's actually, recently he's been brilliant. He's actually had a groin strain for a couple of weeks, but he's managed to play through it. And before that, he played for 6 weeks with a broken finger. And that sums up the character of the lad. And you see him there, he's looked very, very sharp in training all week. And his performance yesterday under terrible conditions was excellent.
And from that free kick, well, it doesn't come from the free kick, but this is a rasper of a shot.
Yeah, it's Danny Griffin. Alan knows him well from Danny's time in Perth, and delighted that Danny's back playing after his injury. But Alan was on his toes there again, and good defender. We managed to pick up the second ball.
Now Archie was raving about Charlie Miller, thought he had a fantastic game. I don't think you quite agreed with that, but how did you think your players handled him yesterday?
I thought Charlie Miller's he's a flair player, he's an exciting player, very much an attacking type player, and you see the problems he caused us yesterday just by playing off the front and getting in that area between our back four and midfield. And he's a very, very talented footballer. Maybe not the best defensively, that's not being too disrespectful of him. We've got a lot of players like that as well. But talent-wise and attacking-wise and excitement-wise, different class.
Did you think Dezovic in particular handled him reasonably well?
Well, Nick does a great job for us in that kind of holding role in the middle of the park, and he's very experienced and very aware of players playing in that position. But you see Charlie there, it's a great run. But again, if you look round about there, Alan Main's done well. We've got 4 or 5 bodies making sure that United don't score, and that's good teamwork and good defending from their point of view.
Now Archie called it an inspired substitution. What was your thinking bringing Lowndes on?
Well, I tell you, Jim, sometimes you're better being lucky than being good in this game, and it worked out really well for us yesterday. But Nathan's that type of player. He's done that on countless occasions for us, and we're delighted to have him back. He's had a really, really serious injury problem. He's back, and a dangerous operation. But he's back now. He's bright and bubbly as ever, and hopefully that's the first of many goals this season.
And he's involved in the move and the build-up to this as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that we had lots of good passing movement yesterday. I think Paul Kane's picked up the ball in the right back area there, played it into Nathan, got it back off Jaipia, good early pass, and that finish is different class, magnificent. I'm delighted that Paul never got to that one.
Yeah, I mean there's absolutely no fluke about that. He knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, I keep sometimes strikers are instinctive, and I think if you give Nathan too much time, he doesn't do as well. But there he read the situation very well, and a great first touch, and the ball's in the back of the net.
So after that, Dundee won. And there a look at the Bank of Scotland SPL table. Celtic 63 points. Rangers, having played a game more, have now closed the gap to 57. Hibernian, for the first time in a long time, dropped down to third on 55, purely of course because they were idle yesterday. And Kilmarnock in fourth on 40 points. And St Johnstone just dropping out of the top 6, Sandy. But I'm sure you intend to be back.